To the live. This is day 6, I believe, of our holiday eating survival series, really just supporting you with feeling good through the holiday season, eating with ease, being in your power with food, feeling confident in your body, no matter the situation. So today's day 6, and I'm going to be talking all about how to have confidence, or how to at least feel at peace and calm instead of triggered about your body or some insecurities that might come up through holiday gatherings, through seeing people that you haven't in a while, through, maybe you've had some weight gain and you got to go be around, your parents who have commented about your weight or whatever that is, right? So I'm going to be talking all about some supportive tools to support you with all things just body confidence and feeling connected to and in a place of just at least like even ground. Like, it's okay if with some of these things you don't get to like love my body super confident. It's unlikely that'll happen that fast, right? But at least you can get yourself calm and grounded to go in situations no matter how triggering they are. So just a heads up, this is Instagram. What's up, Instagram? And this is me looking at Facebook. So you'll see me go kind of side to side on these lives. And that's why, if you're looking at the side of my head, that's what's happening. But let's talk about body acceptance and body confidence. I know for me, when I was struggling, I would feel a lot of pressure going into situations where I, hadn't seen people in a while. So for example, let's say I gained a little weight and I hadn't seen friends in a while or family in a while, I'd feel really self-conscious. Or let's say, even if I hadn't gained weight, let's say I didn't lose weight, or I wasn't comfortable in the clothes I was wearing or whatever that is, right? Or I had to like never felt good in my outfit or just whatever, right? Just being around people in general would be triggering for my body image, not to mention pictures and pictures getting posted and so forth, right? Give me 1 second. My Wi-Fi is being a little choppy, and I think it's because I unplugged my thing. Hold on 1 second. Sorry for the butt shot if anyone can see my butt right now. I really think I just showed my butt to all of Facebook and Instagram. Sorry about that. I unplug my wireless like Wi-Fi extenders and stuff at nights because I just want to avoid the EMFs and the Wi-Fi stuff as much as possible. But I think I forgot to plug it in. So anyway, we're back. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, body stuff, right? So the old me would like restrict and then I'd lose control at the food thing or at the gathering, or the old me would, even when I was talking to others, I would still be thinking about myself, how I felt in my skin, my, stomach hanging over. Even plugging in that Wi-Fi router would have felt different to me 5 years ago. Like, I don't know, maybe a little stomach roll was hanging over. I don't know what was going on, but I would have been like consumed with that when I did that before. Like, what do these people think about the size of my body? And for reference, some people have been asking me this in the series. I have been 40 to 50 pounds more than this. So while I haven't struggled with obesity, and I will never claim to know what it feels like to walk through the world in a, overweight, obese, whatever the label is, body, I have yo-yoed up and down 40 pounds. And I have experienced what it's like to be a certain weight on a Friday and then binge and overeat for a week and be 20 to 30 pounds more with inflammation, water weight, puffiness, and really ride this like up and down, right? So, I'm going to speak a lot from my experience, but I just want to acknowledge that I know my experience isn't the same as everyone's out there. I know that there are issues or judgments that people of a larger size sometimes face that I would not face at this size, right? So I just want to acknowledge that. And I just also wanted to share, I've experienced a lot of this stuff in different ways than maybe you have, right? And I think as women, regardless of our size, we all can relate. Who can relate here? I'm going to check the chat to just, at times feeling insecure about our bodies, feeling insecure about our age, feeling insecure about our face, feeling insecure about the, size of ourselves. I think that's a very common thing. So that is a part of what I want to talk about today is, one thing that I think it's very important that helps me maintain some personal power is just remembering that we have been conditioned, and I'm sure there's some men here, but I'm going to speak to the women. Actually, in general, we have, but women really have been conditioned to really put our worth and our value in the size of our bodies, right? Men face a different type of conditioning typically. A lot of times they put a lot of their value and worth in their performance, in making money and providing and things like that. And that's its own struggle in itself. As women, we have been very conditioned, specifically the generations before us, to put so much worth in the size of our bodies. And so when you're triggered about that picture that's posted and your arm fat's hanging over, or when you're worried about, your mom commenting on your weight or your aunt pointing out what you're eating, I want you to just start with being really gentle on yourself, because it's not that you're just worried about the fat on your arm. You most likely have been conditioned that that fat looking a certain way, not looking the way you think you need to look, is directly correlated with your worth, with the way people judge you, with the way people think about you. And I can't speak for judge what people are judging and not judging on all of that, but I can speak for your weight having nothing to do with your worth as a human being. And even if you know this, and you know this really well, a lot of our subconscious programming still tells us otherwise. A lot of the messages we get in the media still tells us otherwise. So one thing I would love you all to do today is go through your social media accounts and literally unfollow anything that makes you feel less than. You might be following a fitness account right now that you think is motivating, but you're in the back of your mind comparing. I have someone that I follow that's got like every fucking holiday activity done with their kids, every perfect photo shoot image. All their branding is just beautiful with holidays. They are like working out all day. They are like, they're doing so much and they have a business. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I can barely get a freaking Christmas gift wrapped and ordered and get my parents in Florida cards in time. And like, and even though there are times where that account might be inspiring, that account is giving me like comparisonitis and making me like, not, well, it's not making me do anything. My experience is like, man, I feel so behind, right? So do a little like mental health check in your newsfeed. Are there accounts that you think are motivating and inspiring that are actually having you feel less than, having you compare your body to them, having you, what's the word? Having you just not feel good, So I think that's a big thing, right? I'm always big on the proactive and the reactive. And proactive means like setting yourself up to not struggle with this stuff anymore. Or if you do, it gets easier. Reactive to me means, hey, I'm struggling, what I do in the moment. So we're going to talk about some proactive stuff now to kind of help build your body image and support department. And then we'll talk about the reactive. Oh, hey, Mandy. Hey, Raquel. Hi, guys. Yeah, it's awesome to see you all. Another thing that I think is very important to remember is, like I mentioned, being gentle on yourself, right? So when you are triggered, it's actually probably not even the adult you. The adult you knows that your worth has nothing to do with the size of your body and all these things, right? But that part of you inside, that part of you that maybe was taught when you were younger, or was criticized about your weight, or picked on, or worried about getting the guy you wanted because of your body size, or the girl you wanted because of your body size. I'm curious here, how early did the body stuff start for you? Like, when did you start thinking, oh, I need to change my body, or I want to change my body? Anyone here got any parents that had to focus on the size of their body or anything like that? I'd be curious about that, because a lot of times when we're triggered, it's just that little child inside of us that just wants love and acceptance. We are wired, just like I've talking about brain wiring in a lot of this series, we are wired for survival. We are wired to belong. And in the like tribal days, if we weren't in a tribe or we didn't have a partner, our likelihood of living was way lower, right? So if we have been conditioned that our body size gets us love, our body size gets us belonging, when we are triggered about our body size, it is actually triggering those deep fears inside of us of getting ostracized, not belonging, not being loved, right? And that's not just like, oh, I want attention, which wanting attention's fine. This is like a deep, deep, deep survival oriented fear. And so I'm saying this to you just so you are really gentle on yourself when this comes up. For me, it's interesting as I moved through the body image stuff. I'm 35 now. I'm by no means saying I'm wrinkly. I definitely don't look wrinkly on Instagram right now. Oh, I forgot to do no filter on Instagram. Instagram, my face is a little smoother. Facebook, we're seeing a little bit. But yeah, I'm not saying I'm like having all these wrinkles or anything, but it's interesting. My face is changing. My face is aging. And I've been thinking about that, right? Like, oh, I've gotten through the body image stuff and now I'm going to go on this journey into my 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s where the youthfulness is moving. And once again, as women, we are conditioned that, like young is beautiful, not one wrinkle is beautiful. Like, what on earth? Then you see a guy, covered in gray hair with these deep ass lines in his face, and everyone's like, oh my God, he's so dreamy. We have a lot of conditioning around this stuff. And so, I just want, I'm not going to go too down the rabbit hole of like fighting the conditioning, but I just want to acknowledge it because it's important. And I want you to realize that when this stuff comes up, a lot of times it is probably bigger inside. And that's why, you might see the tagged picture and, you get this panicked feeling. Then you tell yourself, oh, not that big of a deal, but you still feel panicked inside, right? Raquel says, I was 4 when this started happening. The first time I was put on a diet when I was 7. I'm sorry, Raquel. Like, that is such a young age to be weight focused. And if you, hear someone comment on your body or feel triggered, like you're probably going to go back inside to that 4-year-old place, that 7-year-old place that felt like, hey, my caretakers in my environment, like my worth to them is dependent on the size of my body. And Raquel or anyone, I'm not saying mom and dad told you that you had to be skinny to be loved. That's not what I'm saying. But when we're little, we are wired to just not appease, but just like win the love of our caregivers so we're safe, right? So if our caregivers are demonstrating things where they approve us more if we're a certain size, they approve us more if they're being healthy or whatever that is, then we're going to get that conditioning that, oh, to get approval and love, I got to be a certain size. I got to eat a little way. I got a certain way. I got to perform a certain way. So if any of you have children, keep this stuff in mind. Nothing wrong with modeling healthy behaviors. I think that's very important. Nothing wrong with choosing healthy, nourishing foods for the house and showing your child the importance of taking care of themselves and eating foods that make them feel good and alive and energized for their life and sports. And if you got an intense weight focus at the house, even if you have a super intense health focus, watch it. Just watch where the energy is coming from. Don't put your weight struggle and your fears about food and your fears about weight on your children, because I would say 80% or more of our clients had something going on in this department when they were younger. Then we also don't want the flip side, which is like, eat whatever you want, don't take care of yourself, right? That can be as equally detrimental too, because then the child doesn't learn that embodied decision to, I'm going to eat in a way that really supports me. So I'm going on a complete tangent that's not on body image. Let me pull it back to the topic of today, which is you feeling confident at social events and so forth. So now we've looked at like what's actually happening under the surface. And, body image in general, even if we aren't even talking about those acute moments where we're triggered, right? One thing that's really helped me is I don't have to wait. Is the acceptance that I don't have to like everything about my body to care for my body. So I don't have to like the way something looks or I look to care for myself and feed it today, right? So if you're going to a gathering or a get together, even if you don't like the way the dress is fitting, even though if your tummy doesn't look fat, even if the cellulite's coming out of the form-fitted skirt you want to wear or whatever that thing is, or even if you feel like you got to wear a big baggy t-shirt and leggings, nothing wrong with that. Sounds really comfy actually. Because nothing fits, like you still deserve your own love and care. You still deserve to eat. You still deserve to support yourself. You still deserve to eat at the table. And you deserve and I think this huge thing in the body image community and the body positivity community is putting this message on like, the awesome side of it is like fat is beautiful. there's norms that we want to bust through and we want to accept ourselves. And regardless of the size of my body, I deserve love and acceptance. That's the beautiful side of it. The negative side of it is body positivity making you feel like if you don't like everything about your body, you're falling short. I didn't just randomly fall in love with cellulite or stretch marks or fat rolls or whatever. And none of these things are bad in my opinion. But in the beginning of my journey, I really, it would have been impossible for me to go from the very, very uh self-critical and toxic place I was in with how I felt about myself to like, I love everything and I embrace my body. Like that just wasn't true for me. And so what I had to do is I had to say, I'm working on the love part, I'm working on the acceptance part. And even if I don't love everything about my body, I can still demonstrate love and care for my body. And I can still demonstrate love and care for myself, right? And I can still say, I am worthy of showing up. Like, I don't care who's commenting on my food at the dinner table, regardless of the size of my body. I am worthy and I deserve to eat a freaking meal. And tomorrow in our series, I'm going to give you some one-liners and some easy things to say if there's any body talk, diet talk, food commentary, and stuff at the dinner table at any of your get-togethers now through the holidays or in the future. But I just, embodying this and practicing embodying this feeling at your core gives you such a better foundation to walk into these things with, right? It gives you, like, when you embody that, I'm on a journey, but I'm still going to care and show up for myself, that helps so much. And when you're in these situations, a really great question to ask is like, if I love and accepted and supported my body fully right now, what would my decision be? What would my decision be? If I was coming from a place of love and care and what I need right now, what would my decision be? If I felt truly confident in my body and in myself right now, what would I do? What do I need? What would my decision be? And practice coming from that place, because that foundation, that feeling at your core, even if it's really shaky in the beginning, it's going to change the game. It's going to change the way you walk through the world. It's going to change the way people treat you. It's going to change the way, like, you are centered on yourself. So if things in your environment are triggering or overwhelming, you still have that place inside of you to come home to. So practice working on that. Practice, kind of thinking from this perspective of, it's cool if I don't like everything about my body, but I'm still going to show up anyway. It's cool if I don't love the way that I look right now. I'm still going to find an outfit that makes me feel good. So moving to that, clothes. When I was struggling, I would not buy clothes to fit my body because I thought I was going to fit into the smaller stuff. And some of our graduates, this might not be your thing anymore because we've pushed you at that. But like, get an outfit that makes you feel good. And if you don't have the budget to, like, go through your closet and get creative, right? Just because you've gained weight, just because you're not feeling like your best self in your body or whatever that is, like, that doesn't mean you need to squeeze into something uncomfortable or unflattering. Find things that make you feel good. Even like, get ready in the morning. And I'm not talking about ready. I don't really get that ready, but like, even just washing my face, putting my face creams on, doing my sunscreen, and like tossing on some mascara or something. I don't really like mascara, but just whatever makes you feel good. Doesn't have to be makeup, right? Doing things to make you feel good is important. Wearing things. And it also, in the world of kind of like manifestation and attracting what you desire, if you are wearing uncomfortable things, if you're just like, oh, screw it, I don't feel good about my body, so I'm just not going to like get ready or whatever, that is basically signifying to the universe, like, no, like, I don't deserve care. I don't deserve respecting my body. I don't deserve to show up. I don't deserve to look good. And that is not the case. You deserve to slay it no matter what your body looks like, right? And you might not feel like you're slaying it, okay? But you'll at least feel a little more comfortable. And then you're putting out the opposite message to the universe, which is, I deserve to feel good. I deserve to take care of myself. I deserve to wear something I'm freaking comfortable in. I deserve to eat this dinner, right? I deserve this. And it's interesting, as you operate from that place, just think about it. Think about two people, right? You got person A who is just feels blah, they're not dressed, they're not feeling good, they're bringing in a low energy, they're feeling insecure, and they're making choices with their food, with their movement, and with their life. And then you got person B who might not be where they want to be, but they know what they deserve. And they know that even if their body isn't the way they want it, they deserve care and love and support and food and movement and all the things because they're a human being and that is their divine right. What kind of decisions are these people going to be making, right? Two totally different decisions, two totally different ways of orienting through the world, two totally different methods of self-care, two totally different ways of honoring themselves, their boundaries, the people around them, and so forth. What's up, Marshall? My old roomie just popped on. So what was I saying? Sorry. So yeah, so really practicing coming from that perspective, even if it doesn't fully feel real yet, and I don't want to say fake it till you make it because you don't want it to feel fake, but practice, right? So I'm not real big on like affirmations. I love affirmations, but I'm not real big on like, let's say you have a really hard time with the size of your body and like a specific feature, like the cellulite on your legs. And you're like, I love my cellulite. I love my legs. Like that's not going to feel real to you. And if anything, that's going to do more harm than good. But an affirmation like, I love and care for my body. My legs support me to live my life. I'm excited about the day. I deserve support and care. Those things are going to ring true. And they also reprogram those beliefs about your body as well. So I will give you a technique that we use with our students. We have a lot of these. And this is a technique that I use if I'm ever triggered about anything. If I'm, have body image stuff come up or self-doubt or just feel like bleh or like negative mental thinking or whatever it is, recurring patterns, because we all got those. And that is our OR technique. So OR I created, and it stands for this or that, or is spelt weird. It's an acronym, if that's the right word. So I believe we always have the power and the ability to choose this or that. I can choose the loving, caring action, or I can choose the unsupportive, disconnected action, right? I can choose the loving, caring thought, or I can choose the thought that's rooted in fear. But one thing I do not like doing is I am not one of those coaches or people that thinks you should just squash your negative emotions, right? You shouldn't just say, oh, I shouldn't fear this. I'm going to do it anyway. Or, oh, I'm feeling bad. I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, there's times and place for that. Don't get me wrong. But body image stuff needs a little more gentleness. I'm touching my heart right now because it's an intimate area for us, especially as women. And so, or it stands for, what does it stand for? Observe. R is, I'm going to change it a little. Hold on. Reassure and release. And E, O-R-E is how we spell or over here. And E is empowered action or embody your truth, whatever lands for you. So it's observe, reassure, and release. And E is embody your truth or empowered action. I like empowered action. It's just easier to remember. But if embody your truth feels better for you, use it. So I'll walk you through an example of this. Okay. I am going to a holiday party and the dress I bought 3 months ago doesn't fit. And I didn't realize this till an hour before. And I am flinging through my closet trying to find out what to wear, and I'm panicking about what people are going to think. And I know there's going to be people that have that are there that I haven't seen in a while. I'm worried they're going to notice my weight gain. So this is a situation I lived all the time, by the way. Anyone ever been there? So I'm going to take myself through this technique as if I'm experiencing this right now. So O is observing what this chapstick problem here. I need new chapstick. Sorry, guys. I notice it like halfway through my lives every time. And then I forget the next day when I cover my face in oil and chapstick. O is observe. Okay, so when I say observe, it means separate yourself from the emotional storm, almost like you're observing your thoughts. So when I was describing that, I was feeling panicked, overwhelmed, scared, fear, all of those things. All those things are okay. I'm just going to step outside of them a little bit and I'm going to almost like I'm looking down on my thoughts. Okay. A part of me, okay, I'm recognizing that this isn't the whole me. This is a part of me. A part of me is really scared right now. A part of me is really nervous about being judged. A part of me is uncomfortable in my body. A part of me, so we're not saying, "Oh my god, I'm so scared. I'm so this." We're not feeding the emotional storm more. We're separating from it and then we're acknowledging it's not the entire us because it's not. It's just a part of you that's scared and we're observing that. Then we're reassuring that part. It's okay. Hold on, let me get back to the actual exercise. Okay. I'm trying to think of what I would say to myself in that moment if I was experiencing that. It's all right. There's At this point, there's nothing that can be done about the clothes. We're going to find something in the closet that works. We're going to focus on people that we care about and people that we're comfortable with at the party. We're going to do things to take care of ourselves. We're going to support ourselves. I deserve to be there. I deserve to show up. The people there literally are going to be so happy to see me because they love and care about me. They do not care about the size of my body, even if they notice it. That's not what they care about. It's not what I care about. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be okay. So it's a reassurance. It is literally like you are crawling in the world of like a toddler who's panicking about something. And you're in the trenches with them and you're reassuring them. And you're going to send that part of yourself love. So you're observing it and separating it. Then you're coming in almost in like a nurturing, mothering, loving, sisterly way for that part of you that's triggered, and then you're going to release it. So when I say release, I want you to like do something that gets the energy out. So you and some people like release before the reassure, right? Observe, release, reassure, or observe, reassure, release. It's totally up to you. Depends on the thing for me. Release is like, I'm talking like move, jump, stomp, punch your pillow, dance it out, like have a dance party, like throw on the floor, stomp on it, like whatever you got to do to release, and then come back to your center, either play a song. The purpose of this is to change your state, because a lot of times not a lot of times, but sometimes, actually a lot, we can't always get out of our mental state, but movement, physical state changes really, really, really help, right? So change your state. And then we're going to say, okay, what is my empowered action that I'm going to take? What is something that's going to embody my truth? That's the E. I'm going to go find an outfit that works for me. That's it. And I am going to, and I'm going to text someone at the party that I know and love that I'm excited to see them. So I have kind of that like point of contact to go, bond with when I get there. And that's it. Observing what's coming up from a separated place, releasing it, letting it go, reassuring that part of you that's triggered, and then moving into your empowered experience. Or you could flip it, observe what's coming up, reassure that part of you that's experiencing it, release it, let it go with a physical state change, and then make that empowered choice and embody your truth. And that is a process I repeat over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I hope this helps, and I hope this is supportive. And, I could go on and on about different things to do in the body image department. I'm going to actually shelf the rest of the combo kind of and mix it in tomorrow with the how to handle triggering conversations. If anyone's talking about weight, diet talk, anything like that, I'm excited for that one tomorrow because I have some cool one-liners to like use that take the pressure off of you in those situations. But before we go for today, anyone have any questions? I'm going to actually move my light. Gotcha. Okay. Doesn't look like any questions are coming through in the body image department. I know this is a really intimate area, right? So be gentle on yourselves and, go back to the days, listen to that. I think it was day 4. I'm not sure, but the one I did on self-care and honoring you through self-care. So doing things to put yourself in your power pre going into these situations. It's like, think of it as like going into the situation with your gas tank full or empty. If your gas tank is full and you're triggered, it's cool. You got a lot to work with. If your gas tank is empty and you're triggered, you're going to feel very low resource and it's going to be hard to support yourself through stuff, right? So, what can you do to pour into yourself, keep yourself in your power? Before you walk into these situations, can you do some deep breathing? Can you listen to a song, right? What are those things that really, really connect you to you? Yeah. And just like so much of this goes back to separating from those thoughts and patterns that don't support us, sending them love because we know they're there to protect us, and then choosing the more empowered thing. And if you need to put a release or centering technique in there to kind of change your state and bring you back down to earth, go for it. So, thank you for being here, everyone. I am going to be live at 10 a.m. tomorrow again, and we're going to all to be talking about how to handle like triggering situations and so forth. And I'll loop more of some of the body image and body support, stuff in there. So, on that note, bye Facebook. I will see